Hello all, welcome back to my videos. Today we will see how we can create peering connection between two VPCs using boto3. To demonstrate this, I will create a VPC, subnet, security group, EC2 instance and an internet gateway so that I can access the EC2 instance from the public internet. I will be creating this resources using the AWS console. But if you are interested to know how we can create these resources using boto3, you can watch my previous videos. In this video, I will be focusing more on creating the VPC, peering resource, and peering routes using boto3. So to start with, let me create the VPC. So I will go to my console and select VPC. And right now I am in US East 1. So I will select VPC, create a VPC, and the VPC name that I'm going to use is my US East 1 VPC. The CIDR block that I'm going to use is 192.168.10.0/24, and let me go ahead and create the VPC. Okay, so I have created the VPC over here. So let me go ahead and create a subnet as well inside that VPC. So I'll click on subnet. I'll select the VPC that I have just created, and then I will name it as my US East 1 subnet, and I'm going to use the CIDR block as 192.168.10.0/28. This is the CIDR block that I'm going to use. Now I will go ahead and create the subnet. So my subnet has been created. Okay. So now let me check the route table. So this is the default route table that has got created. Let me rename it as my US East 1 route table, and I will click on save. Okay. Okay. The next thing is what I'm going to do is let me go ahead with the security group over here, and this is the default security group that got created with for my VPC. So we'll go ahead and rename it. I'll create it as my US East 1 security group, and then click on save. Okay. The next thing what I'm going to do is I will go ahead and edit the inbound rule. I'll click on edit, and I will remove this. Let me verify that. Okay, yeah, this is correct. So I will go ahead and edit my inbound rule and delete this and add a new rule. What I want to do is I want to allow SSH connection from any external IP, and I will just name it as allow SSH. And then click on the save rules. Okay. One more thing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an internet gateway so that I can access this EC2 instance from through using an internet gateway. So I'll click on create internet gateway, my US East 1 internet gateway. Okay. Now I will create this internet gateway and I will attach it to a VPC. So I will attach it to my VPC, attach internet gateway, and my internet gateway is attached. I will modify my route table so that I can allow access to my EC2 instance through the internet gateway. So the default destination that I'm selecting is all, and over here I'm selecting internet gateway, selecting the internet gateway over here, and then I'll just save these changes. Now what we will do is we'll create an EC2 instance. So I will go to EC2 instance, and I will just launch an instance over here. I'll click on select. Okay, default, everything is default. Okay, select that. Okay, so if you see over here, use subnet setting auto assign. Public IP is set to disable. This is because I have not enabled it over here. So I have to go back to VPC subnets and select the subnet and then click on action and then modify. Select enable auto assignment and select on save. And we are good over here. Let me go back to the EC2 instance. Let me launch the instance again. Select. Okay. Okay. So now if you're seeing it's set to enable, so now when I launch an EC2 instance in this subnet, it's automatically going to assign a public IP to it. So add storage, add tags. I will add a name to my VPC, and that will be my US East 1 EC2. And then click on configure security group. So I will use my existing security group over here, and here I am allowing SSH connections. I will review and then launch. Okay, let me create a new key pair, and I am going to name it as US East 1 key 1. Okay, let me download it. And then I'm going to launch the instance. Click on view instance. Okay, so while this my instance is running, I will go ahead and change this PM key to PPK key, and we'll try to log in over there. Okay, so I have now my machine is up and running. I have a public IP address over here and private IP address over here. So now what I'm going to do is that let me try to connect to one of these EC2 instances, and let me copy this public IP address. Let me put it over here, and then I'll go to SSH auth browse, and I will use as my key one. I will open that, and let's try to connect to that EC2 instance. So if you see over here, it's logged in. So EC2 dash user, and I'm connected to my EC2 instance. Exactly the same thing. What I have created one more VPC in US East 1. So I have done the exact same configuration. So everything will look the same. I have a VPC running, sorry, an EC2 instance running over here, and then I have an VPC that runs over here. So I've created this VPC. Okay, and if you see the CIDR that I'm using is 192.168.20.0, and this is 192.168.10.0 CIDR I have used for US East 1. So these are two different CIDRs that I have used for my VPC. Now let me try to go ahead and connect to my EC2 instance, EC2, and let me copy this public IP address and put it over here. To an SSH. I will use this key and I will connect. So if you see, I have connected EC2 dash user. Server key refused. Okay. Let me click on OK again and try to connect. New session. Put it over here. Auth. Yeah. Two. And then click on OK. So it comes. So I'm logged in over here right now. So if you see over here, this is the IP address that I'm getting from other instance, that is 192.168.20.7. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to try and ping these IPs from each other. So let me try to ping it. Ping 192.168.20.7, and over here I'm going to do 192.168.20. So sorry, it is 10.14. Oops, I missed a ping. Ping over here. So now if you see, these two hosts are not pinging the subnet, the IP address that has been assigned to them, that is on the subnet 192.168.20.7 and 192.168.10.14. So what if I change the security group and allow these two IPs over here? Let me go ahead and go to my default security group over here, and I change the inbound rule. I'm going to add one more rule, is that all traffic that is coming from 192.168.10.0/24 should be allowed. I will name it as VPC peering, and then save it. Right. So if you see over here, I am allowing all traffic from this particular subnet, that is 192.168.10.0, which is from US East 1. I am allowing that traffic, but still then we are not able to ping this particular IP. So let me do the same thing on the other side, that is on US East 1 as well. We go. Let me go to the instance, select the instance, and let me select the security group. Okay, this is the security group I'm using, and I'm going to do an inbound rule, add rule, go to all traffic, and I will do a CIDR block of 192.168.20.0/24. So this is the one that I'm doing, and I'm saving this rule over here. Still then, we don't see the communication happening between those two VPCs. That's because we have not done the VPC peering. So what I will do is that I will cancel this. And now I will go to my boto3, and what I will do is I will create an import boto3. I will create two client resource, one for US East 1 and one for US West 1. So one is US East 1 client equals boto3 dot client, and then EC2 comma region underscore name will be US dash East dash 1. Okay, let me copy the same thing, over here, and put it down. And what I will do is I'll change it over here, US West 1, and I'll change the region over here, that is US West 1. Right, so I have created two resources over here. Okay, let me bring it down a bit. So I have created two resources, one for US client East client 1, and one is for US West 1. Now the next thing is I'm going to create the peering connection between US East 1 and US West 1. So for that, I will be calling a method called as create underscore VPC peer connection. So I'm initiating this peer connection from East 1. So let me use this one over here. Dot create underscore VPC underscore peering underscore connection. Okay. And inside that, the few of the parameters that I will be putting is one is the peer VPC ID. Okay. So for now, I'm just leaving it blank so that I can take it from the console. The next thing is I will put the VPC ID. So let me keep it blank. I will take it from the console as well. The next thing which I will need is peer region. So which region I am going to peer. So over here, I am going to pair it with US dash West dash 1. So this is the region that I am going to pair with. And as you have seen my old videos, so I use tag specifications. So I will use the same over here, that is tag specifications. Specifications equals, okay, and then again a curly braces, and then I will use a resource type colon VPC dash peering dash connection. Then let me finish it. Okay, so I need to put a comma over here as well. This looks good. Okay, next thing what I'm going to put is the tags. So I'll put tags over here, and then key. The key that I'm going to use is name. The key that I'm going to use is name over here. Okay, and then below that oops, value that I'm going to use is what is the name that I'm going to use. Did I miss anything over here? Okay, this looks correct. Okay, I think inside tags, let me check the doc. Okay, inside the tag, I have to use one more key over here as such, and then close it off over here. Okay, so now inside that, I'm giving it a name that is US East 1 to US West 1 peering. Okay, so all these attributes that I'm using and the syntax are available in AWS documentation page. So you can refer that, and you can use the attributes over here. So over here now what I'm missing is the peer VPC ID. Okay, so now let me go back and go back to US East 1, and from there let me go to VPC. And I will take the VPC ID over here. Let me get that VPC ID. This is the VPC ID. I've copied it and I will go back over here and I will put it inside the VPC ID. Next thing is I have to go to the other region and collect the VPC ID over there. So I'll go there and I will take this VPC ID and I will put it inside the peer VPC ID. Okay, so this is done. This looks good. So now what it will do is that it will create a VPC peer connection between my US East 1 and US West 1. So let me go ahead and execute it. It looks good. Okay, so let me go ahead and execute it. Let me exit out of the exit presentation mode and then let me go ahead and run this. So if you see over here, I'm running it. And if I go to my console and we go to the over here on US East 1, you will see that a VPC peer connection has been built, right? So if I select over here, then this peer connection has been built and it's the status is showing as pending acceptance. So if I go on action, I cannot accept it over here because this is from where I have initiated the peer connection. So if I go over here on the US West 1 region and select it and click on action, if you see over here, you have accept or request. So you can accept the peer connection from your destination or from the other region, from the second region from to which you have built the connection. So to do that, what I have to do is I will go back over here and let me oops, let me comment out all of these things over here. Next thing is I have to accept the connection, right? So for that, what I have to do is I will use this client resource that I created over here. Let me go back. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this client resource because this is my peering node. So I will use this client resource over here, and then I will use a method called as accept underscore VPC underscore peering underscore connection. Okay. So inside this, what I need to put is I need to put an attribute called as VPC peering connection ID and then the peer connection ID. So if I go over here, select that, and if I scroll down a bit over here, I see the peering connection ID. So I will copy this and I will put it over here. Okay. So now if you see this, if you see over here, the status is still in pending acceptance because I have not accepted it. So now if I go back, come out of this appearance and run it again. So let me go back and run it. So is this finished with an exit code of 0? So now if I go to my console and now till now it was in pending acceptance state. Let me go ahead and refresh it. If you see, it's it's showing me as an active. Then that means I should be able to ping those IPs in two different subnets. So let me go ahead and ping it again. Still now, if you see over here, I'm still not able to ping it. right? Because I have not created any route for that VPC, for that subnet or VPC from any of these machines. So if I do Control C, see the root is there within the system and within the EC2 instance, but still it's not able to ping it, right? Because I have not edited the root table over here. So if you see my root table, I still have not created any root for that particular VPC. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I will create a root. Let me cancel this. Let me go back to the presentation mode so that it's visible better. Okay. Next thing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use two methods called as create root for these two resources. One in EC2, no, one in East US East one, and the other one is at US West one. So let me put the same thing, US dot create underscore root, and then inside this I have to give destination CIDR block, and that is, as I'm using US East 1, so my destination CIDR block will be 192.168.20.0/24. Next attribute that I have to use is the root table that I am going to use, and then the VPC peering connection ID. Right? So and this is the same thing I have to do for my other resource as well. So I will put the same thing over here, but I'll change from US East 1 to US West 1, and the destination CIDR block that I'm going to reach over here is 10. Okay, the peering connection ID will remain the same, so I will copy it from here and put it over here. There we go, and there we go. Now I have to take the root table ID. So let me go over here, and this is the root table, and this is from US West 1. So let me copy this and put it on US West 1. And then I need to go back and do the same thing for US East 1 as well, in the US East 1. So go over there. Okay, and this is the root table, and this is the root table ID. Let me copy it and put it over here. Okay, let me come out of this presentation mode. If you see over here, now I have created two root tables, and then I'm creating this root and this root table ID. So let me go ahead and run it. Okay, unknown parameter root table. Okay, it's not root table, it's root table ID. Root table ID. Let me go ahead and run it again. Okay, it has finished with return code 0. Let me go back and check my routes. Let me refresh it. Okay, routes. So if you see over here, now I have created the entry for my destination VPC. Let me check if it's the same on the other side as well. Has it been updated? Table roots. Okay, so it looks good. So if you see over here, the entry is there. So now, previously, we were not able to ping the VPCs, right? So it was waiting over there trying to do something. So now let's see what happens if we try to ping it again. So now if you see over here, I'm able to ping the VPCs, right? So this is the way we can create VPC peering between two VPCs in AWS. Hopefully, this video helped you understand VPC peering. Next time, we'll meet up with some new interesting videos. Till then, take care and have a great day. Bye bye.